just gonna be honest what we got was an obsession with measles. They were really, none of this was discussed unless Bobby intentionally seized the mantle to try to inject it into the conversation. And Senator Ron Johnson did a great job of allowing him to express his ideas. It was all about measles, about such small ball nonsense, Calley. You're outlining, we are in the midst of a massive public health crisis. People at home, everybody experiences it like it's just them. It's just their mom. It's just like they made bad choices. They have chronic obesity. Oh, well, I have bad luck. Like what you and your sister Casey and RFK Jr and others in this movement have done such a good job of is connecting the dots and saying, you're not alone. Look at the numbers. There are tens of millions of Americans suffering. Someone needs to care about investigating why.
I want Senator Cassidy to know this. And again, we should all be communicating to him in the next 48 hours with love and an understanding that I know in his heart he wants what's best for patients. But I will say this. I have never heard the word measles uttered in a private meeting with Bobby Kennedy. It is not what the focus is. There is no plan to do anything other than raise faith and trust in our standards of care.
And by the way, forgive me for interrupting, but President Trump is on record as saying he's not going to touch the MMR vaccine. And Bobby will listen to Trump. He made that clear. So it's not in danger. Keep going.
It's even more than that. Bobby, the meetings with Trump and Bobby are about truly getting money to the best scientists in the world and not standing in their way at all to getting the American people the truth. And with no preconceived outcomes. Right now, science is conducted where we already know the answer. That's most of the FDA studies that underlie our drug prescription processes. He wants true, unfettered science and absolutely not standing in the way. The words measles, I've never seen uttered. What I have seen in my small vantage point, watching this movement form, is true emotion around reversing and preventing chronic disease. It was just shocking to me, Megyn, yesterday. I honestly couldn't believe it. The words obesity, diabetes, and heart disease were not uttered one time by the Democrats. I would just say to Senator Cassidy, you've got this partisan weaponization of culture war issues like abortion, where Pharma is funding Mike Pence's group to attack Bobby on abortion, like vaccines, which Pharma clearly sees the wedge issue for Bobby. They're this is what they do. I saw this. They're hijacking these issues. The Democrats are falling for that. They've said the word measles 25 times. But if someone in this country cares about children's health, right? 230 million Americans are battling chronic conditions, many of them kids. Measles is important, but even before the invention of that vaccine in 1963, 300 to 400 Americans per year died of measles. Now, I am not dismissing that, but that is just not where Bobby's focused. I just can't stress this enough. He wants, of course, great science to be conducted on pharmaceutical products, particularly pharmaceutical products created by literal criminal enterprises that have settled billions of dollars in criminal penalties over the past 5 years. Of course, who would disagree with that? I don't think Senator Cassidy disagrees with that. I don't think Senator Cassidy disagrees with resetting the NIH to understand the complex milieu of issues that are impacting our metabolic health, our microbiomes, and leading to skyrocketing rates of every chronic disease to reach an all-time high this year. That is what Bobby wants to do. That involves food, that involves the impact of sleep, that involves the impact of movement, that involves the impact of chronic stress, that involves the impact of light, and yes, it involves the impact of the 4.6 billion pharmaceuticals that we are prescribing in the United States per year. It involves investigating scientifically whether we are getting an ROI on the fact that we are 4% of the world's population, but produce 75% of the worldwide pharmaceutical products while ranking 60th in life expectancy. Something is clearly not working. And the first phase of MAHA that Bobby's talked about is not having opinions. It's getting to the truth. Bobby understands that there's no way we're going to get past this existential moment for American health without bringing Bill Cassidy along, without bringing the American people along. That can only happen with great science. The best way for Bobby to blow up this movement, he understands this, is to come in gunslinging with opinions. He is not doing that. He's made that clear, and I can tell you that is in his heart. He wants President Trump to win the Nobel Prize for resetting science, because science is not in a good place right now in this country.
No. I want to tell the audience, with respect to Senator Cassidy, who needs encouragement to vote yes on Bobby Kennedy, call his office. Do so respectfully. Don't be nasty. We don't have nasty audience members. But just call and express in the clearest, most strong terms you can find how important it is to you, especially if you live in Louisiana, how important it is to you that he support Bobby Kennedy. And here's the number for his D.C. office, 202-224-5824. 202-224-5824. 224-5824. 224-5824. Call there, and please make clear, especially if you live in Louisiana, how important it is to you that he support Bobby Kennedy. I mean, there's so much that hangs in the balance with him. And the media attacks on him have been so unfair, Calley. The Democrats' attacks on him were so unfair. I think Senator Cassidy is an honest broker. He didn't go to the totally unfair places. He's just very focused on the vaccine thing, but he seems to be controlled by it right now.
No, I'm just going to say this again, and I can't stress this enough. Of course, as he said, he's already hearing from the Maha moms. He saw those Maha moms behind you at the hearing, Megyn. But by all accounts, and we all need to understand this, the Maha movement, it's this what you've been unpacking, what Casey and I have been unpacking, with so many leaders in the medical freedom and in the health reform space have been talking about for decades. It is a bit of a learning curve to understand. We're talking not about the details and intricacies of Medicare, Medicaid policies. We're talking about the overarching incentives that are leading Americans to get sick. And I would just say to Bill Cassidy, and I would everyone to call him, it's just, there's a real positive opportunity to have absolute gold star trust in science, for Bobby to come in there and not be gunslinging opinions, but really work with senators, bipartisan, to restore trust to American science. And, there's a positive path ahead. We would love to have Bill Cassidy and his expertise in this Maha movement. I'm sure Maha moms help him get reelected, which I know he wants to do. I mean, there's a real positive. This is a growing movement. The Maha movement is the most potent political force in politics right now.
We continue to face uncertainty when it comes to the economy, with a perfect storm brewing as Social Security and Medicare hit a breaking point as the largest generation is hitting retirement. A smaller workforce means a smaller tax base. You pair that with our growing national debt and the rising cost of living, and we could have a very big problem on our hands. So what are you doing right now to protect your family for the future? Gold can be a very safe haven in very hard economic times, and Birch Gold makes it easy to diversify a portion of your savings into physical gold. Birch Gold will help you transition an existing IRA or 401k in whole or in part into an IRA in gold, and it won't cost you one penny, not one, out of pocket. Protect your future today. Text MK to 989898 and get your free info kit on gold and a copy of The Ultimate Guide for Gold in the Trump Era with a foreword by Donald Trump Jr. There's no obligation, just information. Birch Gold has earned the trust of countless Americans looking to safeguard their savings. Text my initials, MK, to the number 989898 today. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.